Seems to have worked. So, welcome everyone. Amy R here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. At the moment, I'm talking to myself because, as usual, I am going live, unscheduled, unfiltered, whatever. But for those rewatching on the replay, we're gonna swatch the newest colors of OLO markers. And depending on where you're watching this, I will have links below the video. And if you're watching on Facebook, it's either above or below the video, whatever. I will have links to the cardstock I used, the hex chart, and the markers. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hello to those that got a notification and showed up. Because again, we're unscheduled, unfiltered. Yeah. This was like my fourth attempt to even get this to work and go live because and I was like, I need to do this because they just showed up. Well, they showed up earlier. Hello, everyone. And I printed off the new hex chart. If you purchase specifically the OLO marker hex chart from Sandy Elnock, again, I have a link to it wherever the doobly-doo shows up. She updated it a week ago, whenever it was, recently, with the new colors. So it's been updated. And if you've already purchased the original one, you can download the new one. You don't have to purchase it. Honestly, for those that haven't, if you're into any of the markers, whether it's OLOs, Copics, I think she's got Prism. I forget. She has many hex charts for different coloring mediums. I highly recommend them. They're like $5 something. They're cheap for the amount of work she's put into it. And I recommend them. I don't get a kickback or nothing. Like this is just my opinion. I refer to this. Here's my original one that I did when I got my first set of OLOs. Hello everybody. And I did this live and I have a link again in the doobly-doo, wherever the thing is. I linked to my playlist, and in that playlist, the first one I did was filling out this hex chart. It's a must, in my opinion. I pull up every time I use these markers. I have this like propped up in front of me because I'm always referring to it because it's like, ooh, this looks good with this color. Highly recommend it. All the work that went into it. It is the best like $5 you're ever gonna spend, in my opinion. So I printed off the new one. Hello everybody, and I'm just gonna fill in. I already filled in the original colors because I just zoned out to like YouTube videos and stuff. And then we're gonna add in all the new colors, which I'm super excited about, especially like all of them, but like the greens and the purples and these pinks. Love. And these like kind of brown shades. I'm excited about those too. New colors, So, hellos to the peoples. And another disclaimer just for those that aren't aware or anything like that. OLO markers are I'm not going to go into all of the info about OLOs. It's been done. Again, Sandy Elnock, she just did a video recently. I posted it on my Facebook page. If you're watching on Facebook, it's like a few posts below. She did a kind of in-depth video about the OLOs and explaining them, and there's just no point me doing that kind of stuff. She's better at it than I am. And yeah, so they're basically like a half marker. There's a marker. It's called brush tip. And then there's little connectors. And then you can either connect two different colors, or you can get a chisel end because there's a brush tip and a chisel tip, blah, 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 blah. I have not connected mine in any way, shape, or form because I have pretty severe OCD. And I'm waiting because I'm waiting for fine tips. And if they don't release fine tips in the near-ish future, because who knows, they're a small company. This kind of stuff's hideously expensive. I will probably eventually just cave and get a whole second set of brush markers because just, again, for me, or possibly the refills because the refills are actually the same size and everything. So I might and just connect them that way. But for now, I use them like I call them little stublets, and I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. It's what I like to do. But you can connect them, and if it doesn't bug you, you can connect like similar shades, like a 1.5 and a 1.3. onto one mark, which means they take up less space. I just not doing that right now. I might eventually. We'll see. But for now, I'm holding out and being stubborn because that's how I feel. So there's all the disclaimers and whatever. And I've talked about this in many videos. I get some really weird arguments from people. So yeah, I just got to keep repeating myself. It's like, I'm aware of it. And I know I'm being kind of backwards with things, but it works for me. Okay. And then I'll eventually, and people also ask about storage. I keep mine, like I got the full set originally, and that's how I store them for now. I'm going to take out these there's like little boxes in here with their little cardboard divider. The cardboard dividers drive me insane. But I like how they're organized, and I'm going to take these out, and then I'm just going to stick them in like a basket. And because I have all my colors, where I can see them. And now that I have this little guy, I'm going to like reorganize to fit these where they belong. And then I'm just going to stick them in a basket, and I'm going to call it a day. And we're just going to go with that until I cave and either connect them or get another set. I don't even know. So that's my thoughts. And yeah, they're about the size of a crayon, roughly. It's like a fat crayon, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I don't. It's been fine so far. I've colored, I've done videos, all the things. And we'll just see what happens. So I think that's all my disclaimers. We're just going to fill in the colors and we can chat while I do it. I thought I would just do this live because I'm not doing anything fancy, and I'm not in the mood to like film this and then edit it. So yeah, we're just gonna stick the colors where they need to go, and then I can call it a day. And this won't be super long because I've only got 32, or is it 36? 32. I think I put 36 on the title. I'll edit that later. It's 32 new colors, not 36. 36 would have been nice. Why did I think there was 36? Whatever. I'll edit that later. Not too concerned about it, honestly. So yeah, that's how I use it. Hello to everybody. Yeah, hurro to my peoples. So 1.6. This won't take me as long, and I even found like filling out this chart, even though I had to fill it out again, obviously, didn't take me near as long as the first time because I'm getting more and more familiar with like the colors and the numbering system and all that kind of stuff. So all the original colors actually didn't take me long, but now it's going to take me a minute to find them in the little box. But same thing, I am fine with this. So, and yes, thank you everyone for the get well wishes and stuff. I am feeling better, thankfully. It was just a couple days of grossness and feeling like crap, and yeah, just right back at it as per usual. So yeah, okay. 4.3. This is a very sort of brown shade. Oh yeah. And yeah, I do recommend, especially with markers, with things, honestly, swatching. If it's not your thing, don't do it. But things like markers, especially alcohol markers, I do highly recommend doing up swatch charts like this. Whether you do, and Sandy's, I do recommend Sandy's hex charts because she organizes colors just how she visually sees them, and they don't necessarily follow the number system that whatever brand it is. And I like that because can get very stuck in the number system at times, and I wouldn't think to like mix certain colors together. And yeah, so that's another reason why I like it. And it's just a good visual. And yes, it is very therapeutic. It is. I loves it. So yeah, and I'm purposely holding off these, like the RVs, like these are the new pinks. Love. Love. So I'm going to hold off on swatching those just yet because I'm excited for those colors. They just look like they're going to be fabulous. So, yeah. We've got a decent amount now. I don't remember exactly. So that's 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 128 originally, roughly, something like that. And now this puts it like a little over 150, something like that, which decent. You know, again, OLO hasn't been around for a super long time. Like they are a very newer company. Oh, and that's another thing I want to address. It wasn't said to me directly, but I saw it in a comment specifically in a chat specifically about like OLO markers, and it was a comment about, oh, the only reason like content creators like myself, etc., are promoting these markers is because we've like oversaturated the market with Copics and whatever else, and we need a new thing to push and shill and make money off of. Which I found the comment honestly like it was offensive, but I wasn't offended. I just found that interesting. Um, I can't speak for anyone else, but I know that's not why I got into them. Um, I got into them because I like coloring mediums. You know, I was interested in these from the beginning. Um, I had considered signing up as like a founder when they were first, you know, going to hit the market and all that stuff. I just, at the time, I don't think I was able to make the financial commitment. I forget. I wasn't able to, but I wanted to because I like markers. I like coloring mediums, all the things, and I still love my Copics. I do like my Copic markers. I still have not. I'm not writing those off, and I still use them. I'm frustrated with the brand and what I've been hearing the last few years since um, they changed hands in who runs the business, and I've been hearing the complaints from people regarding quality issues and the price and all the things. I've heard it loud and clear. I'm not happy with what's going on, and it sucks because it's like I've had my Copic markers for close to almost 20 years, not quite, like 16, 17 years maybe. I forget exactly when I got the first set, but it was around there. It was about 17 years ago, maybe even longer. Um, so yeah, I've got some like old Copic markers, and they've been amazing. The newer ones, yeah. So that's my, um, yeah, rude, not fair. Looking at other markers because Copic sets are having quality. Exactly, and I'm hoping Copic will figure their crap out. Um, we shall see. We shall see. Because yeah, OR 1.0. There it is. But yeah, it's kind of hard to um it's kind of hard to promote something when the quality isn't what it used to be. Like that's the big reason why a lot of people are now jumping ship. Um because it's like we promoted Copics for years, and Copic used to listen to us, specifically us card makers. They used to listen to us like years ago, like over a decade ago. We were going on and on about Copics needing light colors, like pale colors, and they added like an entire selection of colors that we wanted. You know, things like that. Like they used to listen to us, and things changed, and it hasn't been the same, and it doesn't really feel like they're listening to anyone, and it seems like all the complaints are falling on deaf ears, and I do hope that they'll course correct so I'm not like throwing out my Copics and lighting them on fire. So that's yeah. And then yeah, I just personally like markers. I like new coloring mediums. Do you need them? No. If you've got, you know, what you're happy with, great. And use what suits you. Um did I need to get Olos? No. I didn't need them at all. I was just curious and I wanted to play with them. So, is what it is. If anyone knows you, they should know you like all things coloring. I know, and the comment I had seen, whether it was aimed, I mean, it was kind of aimed at like I think card makers in general, or like content creators in general, and it was just petty. And I was gonna respond to it, and then I was like, one, it wasn't even on any of my own social media, and I try not to engage in fights on other people's content, and I was just like, whatever. Like, some people are miserable and they want to see and push this like negative agenda, and I don't care. I don't care for it. So, you guys know, I like what I like. Okay, YG, there it is. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm very appreciative. You introduced me to the tri-blend markers, trying to figure out matching colors. Tri-blends were a game changer. Exactly. Like, same with the tri-blends. Like, those Spectrum Nair tri-blends. I haven't used them in a minute. I'll need to pull them out again one of these days. Done a bunch of videos on those too. And same thing. Did I need to get them? No. I purchased them because I was curious, and I genuinely enjoy them. They're fun. And I like that they have 3 colors, 3 shades in one marker. Are they the best I've ever used? Heck no. But they're decent. I like having options. And for me specifically, because I do make content, I like having variety. It's fun. So that's what works for me. And those that have an issue with, I don't know, especially in card making, it's like, man, if that's how you see content creators that provide free content for you, you turn it into this ridiculous conspiracy and just all of it. It's so ridiculous. It's just like, gotta go outside and touch some grass, just be more happy as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, hello to my peoples. Um, do you like? Oh, do you like the OLO better than the tri-blends? Yes, I do. I do. These are nice, legit. But again, there's nothing wrong with the tri-blends. Like they're a decent price point, and they work fine. Will they last? Like the type of the tip on a tri-blend is not as good quality. I find the quality of these is similar to the Copic tips. So the tri-blend tips are not. They're not that. They will like break down over time, but I've gotten a good amount of use out of them, and I'm completely happy with them. Like I don't regret getting the tri-blends. And I don't regret getting these at all. But again, I have a thing for like coloring mediums. I have so many. And if a new one was to come out, I would be curious. I would probably hold back for a bit, and then I would cave and get it. Usually it just means I need to save up for a while, to make the purchase, because I'm the type that can't just get like 1 or 2 to try it out. Because I did actually. This is my original OLO marker that I got a year ago. Just over here. I was given it at Create last year. And just this one marker. And it has the brush tip and then the chisel tip. And I never used it because it's one marker. Like it's one color. So it's like it just sat here because I was like, what am I going to do with this? And it's like I could have got a couple similar shades, to blend together. But it was like, oh, no. I waited until I could get the entire set because it's not worth it to me unless I can have all of them. Again, do you need it all? No. Just because I'm nuts and need all the colors doesn't mean everyone else has to be. So, yeah. Paper is a big part, or whether or not they blend out. Yes, paper with coloring mediums, huge. That was another thing I held off on. I did hear that a lot, specifically with OLOs. I was hearing a lot of people having trouble with the paper they were using them with, and that made me pause in getting them because I was like, dude, I know the Express It cardstock's very recommended. I have some around here somewhere, and I've heard people say like the Express It cardstock's amazing. I still haven't pulled mine out. It's here somewhere. But I just use, and I have it linked, Simon Says Stamps 120-pound smooth white. This is what I use for everything. And I tested it with these, and for me, this cardstock works great, which thankfully, that made me really happy, because then I don't have to be like, because I have that with a couple of my other coloring mediums. I have to, like, with my Karen brush markers, I have a specific watercolor paper that they work with, and they don't work with other ones as well. They kind of work with a lot, but things like that. And it's like, that always makes me stop, because it's like, crap, have to remember I need this cardstock. Again, is it the end of the world? No, but I don't like having to think. So, but yeah, this stuff works great. But I've heard the Espresso works. I've heard the Nina, like our Nina Classic Crest Solar White, that generally most people use for everything, isn't the best with this. I haven't tested it though, because I haven't used the Nina stuff in a long time. It's a good cardstock. I haven't used it in forever. I'm really excited about these greens. We needed these greens. So yeah, I'm just glad that this stuff works with this cardstock, because this has just been my go-to cardstock for years. Years and years and years. So that just makes me happy. Oh, we needed these greens. I've complained about this a lot. 5.3 G1. Ooh, that was probably an old color. Was that an old color? 1.5? Eh. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was like I said, trying to find the new colors is gonna take me. It's gonna take me a hot minute until I get them swatched, and then I have to reorganize all the markers so that they're in order so I can find them. That's gonna suck, but whatever. It might be that I've used Tombos for so long, but I struggle with alcohol. Alcohol markers are a completely different beast, because I get asked that a lot too. Like, what's the difference between these and Tombos, or these and like Karen brush markers? And I'm like, you're literally comparing apples to oranges. Like, water-based watercolor markers and alcohol markers, two completely separate coloring mediums. There is no comparison between those, because they act completely differently. One is water-based and water reactive, and one is alcohol-based. Totally different. So there is a different, like, learning curve to coloring with the two different mediums. So yeah. What cardstock do you use with Karen markers? You would have to look up my videos using Karen markers. I have it. I think it's one of the Strathmore ones. I think it's Strathmore that I use, because it has anything with a lot of sizing on it will works really well with, in my opinion, with Karen markers. But I have them on my YouTube channel. I haven't used my Karen markers in a while. I'll have to pull those out again one of these days. And then, yeah. Are they available everywhere? OLO markers? Sort of. I have a link to them in the description. Simon Says Stamp carries them. Several online stores carry them. People that have access to, like, stamp stores and stuff, some of them I've heard stock, but I can't speak for brick and mortar stores because I don't have any near me. And then OLO themselves also carries them, of course, and people can order from them. I need a BG. Where did that one go? There it is, 2.5. I'm not saying I don't have the budget to get the big name brands. I was interested in OLO, but unsure if this video helps. Well, good. Yeah, like, they're cheaper in terms of the amount of ink you get, because I think one half marker is like the equivalent, like the amount of ink inside one of these is the equivalent. Do not quote me on this, but I think it's the equivalent of 2 Copic markers. So if you have a full OLO, it's technically the equivalent of 4 Copic markers. I think that's the ink equivalency, but don't quote me on that. Like I said, Sandy Alnock did a video on it. people should watch that if you are interested in that sort of a thing. Because I just like to color, man. I try to give all the info, but at the same time, my brain is like a sieve, and everything just kind of filters out. Is what it is. When purchasing a set, can you pick brush ends? Oh yeah, you can choose. There's the brush ends and there's the chisel tip. That's all they have is the brush, and that's a black barrel. And then there's the chisel tip, and that's a gray. It's subtle, but it is a gray barrel. All I have other than this one, all of mine are brush. Because I don't use chisel tips for anything, and I'm refusing to purchase. I won't purchase chisel tips in these because I won't use them. So that's a complete waste. I might as well light my money on fire. If I do anything to like I said at the beginning, if I want to connect my markers, I will either get a second set of brush or I'll get their refills, which again, Sandy Elnock actually showed them because I don't have any. But you can actually connect instead of they come sort it's weird. It's similar to it's like the marker itself, and you just like remove the nib. It's weird. Anyway, but I could connect that. I could connect the refill. So I just haven't decided. I'm hoping because I keep hearing rumors, but nothing's been confirmed. I'm hoping that OLO will release a fine tip option because if they do a fine tip option, I will. I'm live.
Well, hello, live people.
Hello, live people.
Just when you know that we're heading out.
Okay.
See you a little bit.
Cool. If they do a fine tip, I would get the fine tip. I'd be super happy with that. Do you need a fine tip? Not really, because this comes to a nice little point. But a little tiny like bullet tip, I would like that. So, but I haven't. No one's been able to confirm it, and I don't know anyone at OLO, so I would like that. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, where am I going here? I gotta do the new purples. The purples. Do you know if they have an equivalent hex chart? You would have to look on Sandy Elnock's website. I have it linked, I think, to the OLO, but you can look and see. I am not sure if she's done one for the Karen brush markers. I know she has them for other things. I did my own swatches for the Karen Brush Marker Pros, and I have a video of that on my YouTube channel. And I have a playlist with the Karen Brush Marker Pros. I did swatches for those years ago. That I have on like a ring because I made them into like tags or whatever, and that's what I use. A hex chart would be sweet, but you would need to be able to print it on watercolor paper. And depending on your printer, that could get difficult. So, but yeah, I don't know if Sandy did have one, I would purchase it and download it because that would come in handy too. But yeah, I am not sure if she has one. I'll have to look into that because I actually would love that, but that would also mean me trying to print onto watercolor paper, which, yeah, unless you've got a printer that can handle that, I don't know if mine could. Alright, and then 1.7. I like these new purples. They're pretty. They're pretty, and I'm almost done, so that we're not going to be a whole lot longer. Which is good, because I have tons of other work to do tonight. So we're just gonna fill that in. Just like so. Got a little, there we go. A little fuzzy on there. So yeah, the new purples, love. The new greens, yes. Needed. 1.3. So yeah, and now for the new pinks, which there's only a few of these. Also very much needed. I wonder how long it'll be before OLO releases more colors. Again, do we need more colors? Not necessarily. But I would, of course, If down the road OLO releases more colors, I assume they will as they grow as a company. I assume that they will release more colors, and yeah, hopefully a fine tip option would be amazing. But yeah, you can't release all this stuff out the gate. It's crazy, stupid expensive, and they are a very small company, from what I understand. That's a really pretty color too. That was needed. They were all needed, really. What am I? Who are we kidding here? RB 1.5. Ooh, I like this color too. It's lovely. Oop. There we go. Good enough. And last, but certainly not least, yeah, I think I got all the other colors. This is the last one, 2.4. Okay. Love it. This will make me feel so much better because that's just another thing off of my to-do list. Because yeah, I loves it. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. So there were, and that's the only thing is I'm gonna have to like reorganize all these markers to fit all of these into. That's gonna be annoying, honestly. It's gonna be annoying, and I know I'm not gonna enjoy it. But, and I'll have to maybe like cut this box down or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'll figure something out. I'm gonna make it look, I'm gonna make it work. It just is what it is. So, yeah, the RV 1.7. Yeah, it kind of does on camera. It's kind of like between that one. It's kind of between the two, just depending on how the light hits it. I got like marker all over myself in this process. I don't even know how I did that. Whatever. I also don't really care. I need to redo my nails, but whatever. Again, I don't have time for that. So, yeah, that was my little bit of swatching. This was just a quick and simple little live. I will add this to my playlist on YouTube. I have the original swatch that I'd done when I first got the full set, and then I have just the videos I've uploaded coloring with them in my card making. And then, as always, I'll just continue to add to it. And then, yeah, those that are watching on Facebook, I posted Sandy's video that she did just a few days ago, last week, whenever it was. I posted that just a few posts below this one, so you can just scroll down on my Facebook page and check that out if you haven't. Because, yeah, she gives a lot of good info and she talks about different things. Like she fills out, like OLO also has a chart that you can download and print. But it's like this basically. And I don't know. I might down the road download it just for another visual reference. You know what I mean? Because it's nice. And then Sandy, of course, did her own little charts and stuff with her own artwork and stuff. Because again, she's an artist. So it's worth checking out. If you're interested in OLO markers, I highly recommend checking it out because yeah, she gives lots of good info and way better than me. Whereas I'm just like, they're markers. I like them. They're pretty. So yeah. Um. So yeah, that's it from me for the moment. I am gonna go work on the 5 million other things that I have on my to-do list. I'll have more videos coming over the next few days, many. And then we get right into June and I there's some good releases coming in June. Oh boy. So many good things. I'm not kidding. I need more hours in the day. I need another actual unpaid intern. Because the other unpaid intern who, made a little appearance earlier, he has to work full time, so he can't just like work for me for free. So yeah, I got tons of things. I'm so bad about doing swatches. I recommend doing them. I do. But again, if a person doesn't want to do swatches, don't. you know, but I do recommend them. You know, I've been trying harder about like things like this. I need them. I will be referring to this every single. I don't show them in my videos all the times, you know, but when I am coloring with these, I have this propped up. Like before, that's the first thing I look at, and I do the same thing. I showed this. I have the old Copic, and this is old. Yeah, 2014. Sandy Elnock did this one. So this is old. This is the Copic hex chart. And same thing. It's so little because there's twice as many colors. I refer to this all the time. Like every time I go to use my Copic markers, the first thing I do is I pull this out and I look at it because I'm just like, you know, because it's like, oh, I need some brown. So then I'm looking here, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and these are nice too if you are trying to keep track of the colors you have, because then you can fill them out, you know, and then you can have a visual little chart to see like what colors you don't have. Because again, do you need all the colors of all the things? No. And even here, it's like there are a lot of very similar, like, you know, they're not the same, but they're similar. I need all the colors because I'm just like that. I need them all. But for a lot of people, you don't need like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shades that are very similar. You only need like 1 or 2. You know what I mean? So I do recommend it. And yeah, just swatch I need to swatch my tribal ones. I wish Sandy had it. I would buy it in a heartbeat if she would do a hex chart, but same thing. It's expensive, you know. These brands aren't sending her. I should contact Spectrum Noir and be like, hey, send Sandy Elnock all the tri-blend markers just so that she can do a hex chart, because I can't do this. I could never. She has the eye for it. Because yeah, I would totally download. That's the only reason why I haven't done one, because there isn't a hex chart for it. So yeah, and to invest in that kind of stuff just to do a chart, I get it. Like it's expensive. It's expensive. And she's a fine artist. So I know she probably wouldn't be the biggest fan of the tri-blends. Um, but still, it's like, man, she could just do a hex chart for it. Just for me. I would love it. But yeah, I like having swatches of things. And then yeah, while I'm live, yeah, I have talking about the Karen Brush Marker Pros. And I'm knocking things over. Big surprise there. Whatever. This is what I was talking about. I'm pretty sure that I have a video on my channel, on my YouTube channel. So just look up my YouTube channel and go under the playlist options and then find the Karen Brush Marker playlist. This should be in there because I'm positive I did a video on this. This was years ago. But yeah, that's how I keep my Karen brush markers, and they're just on a little like ring, and this was a waffle flower, I think. I think this was a waffle flower die cut. I think that's what it was. And then yeah, I just did die cuts, and then I just hand labeled it. That's all I did. That's all I did. So I like it. I like it. Oh, She would sell a lot of markers for them. She would. Sure, it kind of amazes me with someone like her that the brands aren't just all sending her. It's not like there's that many marker brands out there, really. But it just kind of surprises me that they're not just like, just give them to her. Not only give them to her, but pay her. Like, give her money as well. You know, because it's like that. The amount of time that goes into these charts, I hope the brands give her something like monetary compensation, because the hours she puts in to making these charts, and yes, she does sell them, but she only sells them for like $5, like I said. They should pay her too, because this is such a good resource. So yeah, brands, send Sandy Elnock the markers and send her a big fat check, because she deserves it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, tri-blends, I hated them. Yeah, they're not for everybody. I enjoy them. But then again, I like different things for weird reasons. They're not the greatest. They are, and their system is weird with the tri-blends. And sometimes when I'm using them, I'm like, who came up, like, the shades between some of the colors and stuff? I'm like, why? Who did this? Why? Why? You know, but even then, I enjoy them. You know, I like, I like having options. And for me, that's how because I do this as a job and my content and everything, I like being able to switch between different types of coloring mediums and all the things, you know, it's like OLO markers. I'll fixate on those for a while and then I'll switch to Copics and tri-blends and watercoloring and Karen brush markers and, you know, distress inks, oxide inks. Like I can go on, you know? That's why I have all the different playlists on my channel because I like to jump around and try different things. And I'll use the same wafer die set 15,000 times, but I'll use it with every single different coloring method because it's fun. Why not? Why not? Um, so yeah, that's my thought process and that's how I operate. That's what works for me. And it keeps me engaged and keeps me going, you know? So, all right, that's it from me. I'm going to go and deal with life and these markers. I got to figure out how I'm going to organize them cuz yeah, that's going to take me a while. But thankfully, all of my tech stayed working even though it literally took me like 4 attempts to go live tonight. Everything wasn't working and then it did. So, yay. So I'm gonna go do my thing. And what day is it today? Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. I don't even remember what day it is half the time. It's Tuesday. So we'll see if I do any more lives this week. I make again 0 promises because who knows with my life. Sundays though are generally a mostly given thing. So Sundays at 2 p.m. Central is when I go live. Not here on Facebook for those watching on Facebook. I haven't figured out how to do that yet ahead of time. The only reason I can go live on like 2 platforms, because for those that aren't aware, I'm live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. Look at me, I'm a tech genius. Um, is when I do it unscheduled like this, because it lets me. But to do it up ahead of time, that's a whole other beast, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So lives are on YouTube on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. So that's it from me, and I will see you guys later.